When you're multiplying decimals, there are a couple of different things you have to be careful about, and a couple of different ways you can go about doing it. So I'll show you those two different ways. So and again, a typical kind of question: 12 and 1/10 times 3 and 4 100ths. First step, always with working with decimals, estimate. So again, we do front end estimation where we take this number here, the whole number, and this whole number, the front end, the part of the number before the decimal. 12 times 3. So I can use my mental math to know that my answer is going to be approximately 36. Then the second thing, the one way you can look at this question is just to remove all the decimals and just work on it like you normally would work on a multiplication question. So we're just going to use the numbers that we've got and we're going to multiply it out. Just using our regular kind of long multiplication. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we're going to multiply 0 times everything and move it over 1. We know that's all going to be zeros, so I don't have to add those up. But I can do my next row right here. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3. Then I need to add those together. 4 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 3 is 7. 6, 3. Now I have to put my decimal place back into my answer. Now I know that my answer is going to be around 36. So I know that my decimal place has to go right in here, which would make my answer 36 and 784 thousandths. Another way to think about this same question is to do it with the decimals. Add the decimals when you're, again, it doesn't matter about lining up or having the same number of decimal places. Whoops. So we just put down our numbers vertically, and again we are going to just multiply it out like normal. I'm going to get the same result as I did over here. But in this case, I take a look at my question, and in the question I had 2 decimal places. In this 2 decimal places in this number, 1 decimal place in this. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So my answer must have 3 decimal places. So if I go down here to my answer, 1 decimal place, 2, 3, then I place my decimal between the 6 and the 7, which is the same answer as I have over here. So I'm just going to show you one more example just to clarify that. Here I have 2 and 3/10 times 4 and 6/10. Let me do my front end estimation first. I've got 2 here and 4 here. So 2 times 4, my answer is going to be around 8. Okay, so the second thing I do is I can just multiply these numbers without the decimals. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12, 13. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And let's add those together. 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. 9 plus 1 is 10. I know my estimate was around 8, so I know my answers. The closest I can get to that is to put the decimal here, and then I'll have 10 and 58 hundredths. If I put the decimal here, it would be 1. If I put the decimal here, it would be 105. So I know the decimal has to be placed here. If I do it with the decimals, 2 decimal 3 times 4 decimal 6, again, I get the same results as I did on this side over here. But now when I write my answer down, I know I have to look back at my question. Here I had 1 decimal place. Here I had 1 decimal place. That means I need a total of 2 decimal places in my answer. So starting here, go over 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, and I end up with 10 and 58 hundredths. So the steps here, first estimate, and then you can do it this way or this way without the decimals in the question. and then just place the decimal later, or with the decimals in the question and then add up the decimal places here. Make sure you have the same number as the total number of decimal places in the question.